All right, welcome to your very, very last lesson. Let's put learning goal 51 here on comparing proportional relationships. All right, our last learning goal is I'll be able to compare different proportional relationships. So let's go ahead and use our page sorter, get all the way down to your notes today, and get going. So congratulations. This isn't really anything too new. We've been doing all of this. Let's just sort of put that bow on it and wrap it all up. So the question says that a professional typist can type 50 words per minute. So identify that as a ratio per 1 minute. And so that's something to just be aware of as we're going here. They want us to complete the table for the numbers of words typed in terms of time in minutes for the professional typist. So this section is all about the professional typist. Obviously with 0 minutes, there's 0 words typed. I do know that in 1 minute, okay, because 1's on top, they can type 50 words. Okay, so obviously if we have a 1 up in the top and a 50 at the bottom, my constant of proportionality is going to be 50 or times 50. Okay, in our head, that's our multiplier, which we know is really the same thing as our constant of proportionality. And so we're going to be doing that with all of them, is times 50, times 50, times 50, times 50. Okay, because once you identify that, that's what we're doing for all of them. So we can go through and fill all those out. So 12 times 50, 12 times 5 is 60 plus the extra 0. We have 600. 21 times 50 is 1,050 words typed. Our 36 times 50, 1,800. And our 60 times 50, we know 5 times 6 is 30. So we have our 3,000. Okay. And so what I want you to understand is for every bit of time, okay, so for 1 minute of time spent, we can type 50 words, and so that is proportional with any of those other times. So 60 minutes of time creates 3,000 words typed. These are all going to have the same unit ratio. So let's talk about dependent and independent for a second. We can see that if we look at all of these numbers, these are the nice ones, and these are all the more large, unique ones. That's just a hint of which is X and which is Y. We also know that time has to happen for us to then get the words typed. And so time is going to be our X. I want you to label that there, but not with a giant highlighter. And words typed is going to be our Y. And so we already know our constant of proportionality is 50. So actually, is this relationship proportional? Yeah, because they have the same constant of proportionality. And so we can actually answer this. What is the constant of proportionality? Well, it's 50. We already determined that. Okay. But we also could prove it by doing our Y over X equals K, our constant proportionality. Remember, we got that from the Y equals K times X. You divide X by both sides, or on both sides, and you end up with Y over X equals K. So just a reminder of how we got that. If you did Y divided by X, you can see you will get 600 divided by 12, which is also going to get you the 50, which is your constant of proportionality. So just a reminder, but you don't need to do that with all of them because you're the one who created the table with the constant of proportionality. It says, what is the equation? Remember, our equation for a proportional equation is Y equals K times X. For this one specifically, Y is words typed, so we could do W. The constant of proportionality is 50, and X is minutes or time, so we could do M or T. So what they want you to do for this is show an equation with proper variables that fit that word problem. So this is something new that you haven't really done before, and this is a proportional equation that would create a graph that goes through origin 0, 0 and is a straight line. Those are our two characteristics we have to have. All right, so now we're going to compare with 7th grader Libby, and let's see how she does. At the right is her graph that shows her rate of typed words per minute. And we already have done this the other day too. We know first look and see if you can find the ordered pair where x is 1, because we know that automatically tells us our constant of proportionality. I can't really see where 1 is in here, so that method's not going to work. Okay, it does go through 0, 0, so I know this is proportional, and because it also has a straight line. And so let's go ahead and look at some points that we're aware of. So I can see here we have ordered pair 2800. And I can also see that I have ordered pair 40 1600. So here's my x, here's my y. And we can go ahead, we know that the equation to find the constant of proportionality is y minus x. And so we're able to figure out what that is. So we only need to do it with one of them. So I'll do my y over x equals k. That is 800 over 20 equals k. And we can mentally math do this, but we'll make sure we're accurate so we don't make silly mistakes. And so we have 40 equals k. And so there's my constant proportionality. I know that the relationship is proportional because the line goes through origin 0, 0, or ordered pair 0, 0, and is straight. Those are the two qualifications we had. So again, what is the equation? So see if you can look up at what we did here and imitate this with something new. We know the equation of a proportional line is this. Let's fill in the variables and the information we know. So this is our y-axis. Here's our x-axis. Y is number of words typed. Okay, so we could do words for y. Our constant of proportionality is 40. And then what is a variable for x? We have minutes. Okay, so we're using the same variables as we did up above. Again, this is something new that we haven't done before. So now we're looking at both of these and comparing them. And so you can see some good information about both of these people. So let's go ahead and compare. I know that as a unit rate then, okay, if the constant of proportionality is 50 and 40, I know that for the professional, so we'll call it the pro, she was doing 50 words in 1 minute. Because remember, if I know the constant of proportionality, that means that it is at ordered pair where x is 1, and whatever y is also the constant of proportionality. Okay, so since we know that information, it basically gives us the unit rate and we're good to go. So that's the pro. The one we're comparing then is Libby, and she can only do 50 words for 1 minute. Okay, so I'm recording both their information. Obviously, it's easy for us to tell the difference. We can just do the 50 words minus the 40 words, and we can see that the difference is 10 words per minute, okay, which really isn't that bad. Libby's pretty good then. We could use a comparing symbol, which is also setting up in inequality. And we can do the pros 50 words per minute is a greater amount of words than Libby's 40 words per minute. Okay, and then we also can talk about the graphs and compare what those would look like. So I want you to see we have a graph for Libby that's showing the 40 words per minute. So you can imagine if at 21 here it goes to 1050, you can see that let's see, 21 1050, I don't know, somewhere around here we can see that the professionals line is something like this, okay? Where I'm just making an estimate, okay? And so when we look at those two graphs, because the professional is doing more words or more Ys per individual minute, her graph or her line is going to be steeper, okay? So we can say the pros line is steeper. I don't think that's how you spell. Let's check with Siri. How do you spell steeper? Oh, it is EE. Huh, I was right. I shouldn't second guess myself. See what we learned there? Good job, Mr. Hutch. All right, so the pros line is steeper because for every X, her Ys are greater than Libby. Okay, all right, that is it for comparing. But the things you really want to focus on are creating an equation with the actual variables. Those are the new things. And also using the constant of proportionality to make the unit rate. That's something new. Finding the difference, which is pretty easy, but I guess new. Comparing those two, and then analyzing the graph to think about how can you compare the two. Okay. All right, so those are really the newer things of this section. Great job today, and great job through this unit. Make sure to ask for help if you need.